right, dude, you ready? Let's do this. All right, that's it. We've got our theme. It is all kinds of started today. This is the hater episode. We've never had a hater episode before because we've never had a subject so filled with such vitriol and hatred. Welcome to a tragedy wrapped up in an enigma, tied up in a crappy show bun. This is I said bun? I think I meant bow. I'm not sure what I was going for there. My name is Brian Brushwood. You have stumbled into a tragedy called the BBLiveShow. The only show broadcast at 11 frames per second from my spare bedroom. It's a show that nobody watches, and part of the reason is because we don't have any set time or style or anything that makes sense to this thing. By the way, if you want to know when shows are, you got to follow the Twitter at Schwood, twitter.com/Schwood. And pretty much from time to time out of nowhere, I announce about an hour and a half beforehand that we're going live. And today's episode is haters. Haters. And we got some panelists here from iTricks. Justin Robert Young, are you a hater? Oh, you know what? I muted you. There we go. Now you're unmuted. Okay, now you're unmuted.
Well, thanks a lot.
Yep, you got it.
Yeah, I'm absolutely a hater. I let my hate fly, at any possible point.
You know what? I don't know if we just got lucky, but you actually just got muted out whenever it was you were saying what you hated. So apparently, I don't know if you dodged the flame and you get a second chance to come back. I don't know here. You want to try again? What do you hate?
Actually, I mean, like, I'm kind of a fronter. Like, I don't really hate a lot, but I do enjoy the hate. I do enjoy a random. You're not absolutely uncalled for racial slur.
Right, you're not a hater yourself, but you're like a hate cheerleader, a fan flamer, or a flame fanner. That's what it is.
Absolutely. I'm the guy at the edge of the fight screaming like, "Oh, you gonna take that?"
I totally 100% believe that, and of course, I've got to get a tip of the hat to the real stars of this show, the folks over in the chat room. Let's see if we can get them actually on there. There they are. Look at that. By the way, we got a lot of people today, from what I understand. I don't really know. I can't count that high. But from what I understand, a lot of people tuned in. This is like this is like the two of us are in study hall and we're watching people like, you know, going at it all day, and the two of us just start saying, fight,
yeah,
fight, fight, fight. We're like the Don Kings of the internet is what it is.
And if I'm not mistaken, there's some so something's rotten in the state of Revision 3. There's civil unrest across Confederate stations.
Hold on. I heard from the Confederate stations. I don't know if that's what you meant to say. There's civil unrest.
I said there was once the once peaceful Confederacy of Revision 3 has been torn asunder in hater controversy, right?
Hater, controversy is the right word. That's the subject of today. By the way, we're trying to get our good friend Brett Rounceville, the Amtrekker. There we go. He's calling in right now. Let's see if we can actually get him live on here as well. And maybe he'll sound like a robot. Maybe he'll sound like a human being. We're waiting for him to turn on his camera, though, because right now... Okay, say that again, Brett. Brett. Dude, you sound perfect. You sound perfect. You look great. There's nothing wrong with this at all. I tell you what, call in on the Skype line. We'll let you tie up the Skype line. Apparently, Uvu doesn't like your Mac for whatever reason, which is a bummer. By the way, don't call in right now. But actually, we're trying to. How do I ditch Amtrekker? I can't without him ditching himself. You gotta hang up on yourself there, bud. Hang up and call on. Hang up and call on Skype. By the way, this is one of those moments for everyone who keeps telling me to get a Mac. Brett has a Mac, and I guess you have a Mac as well, though, right, Jury Duty?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, so it's not just the Mac thing; it's just a strange Uvu-ness. All right, so
yeah, a ghost in the machine.
While we're waiting for Brett to call back on the Skype line. By the way, if you want to join the program later, we take calls from the audience. Oh, and people are already calling. It's a little bit disturbing. You know what's funny? Let me go ahead and kill this here. I'm not gonna take calls. Oh, thank you. I didn't even realize I was setting up a softball there. Thank you for just lobbing that on back. Very well done. What's funny is well, I totally forgot where I was headed with any of this. So let's do this. You want to set this thing up? Let's talk about the controversy. What's going on?
Sure. Let's talk about it. Let's get it done.
Let's get it out in the open where we can deal with it.
Yeah.
What do you know? What's going on, Justin Robert Young?
Well, I'll tell you what. All I know is that my interest in this entire situation stems from the fact that you told me that there were people angry about things, and like a fly to poop, I was immediately drawn to a situation where apparently a JV, who I personally knew as a guy who was a radio talk show host in New York, but I guess he worked in San Francisco before that, is now on Revision 3 with a new show called JV's World, which seems a bit out of the genre, so to speak, but the audience has not reacted favorably, and then he kind of exacerbated the situation.
Oh, yeah, no, I think
if you could explain,
right?
Explain that.
You're right on the money here. By the way, we finally got Brett in on the Skype line. How you doing, Brettsicle?
Hey team, how you guys doing?
Boy, that's weird. So that wasn't like a trick you were doing with your voice. You know what you sounded like? You sounded a little bit like the aliens from V. Do you remember the miniseries V?
Oh man, I did not watch V. I'm sorry.
You did not watch V?
In space, I'm not historically all that interested in.
Oh man, yeah. V was freaking amazing. By the way, they're remaking V.
That's why God invented Netflix, though.
Yeah, all right. Well, yeah, definitely watch V. But you sort of had the kind of double voice that they have. Brett, by the way, for those of you who don't know, is the Amtrekker, a homeless vagrant who used technology to deflect the police. And what other adventures did you have? To ride ostriches? And all
I
kinds
fell
of
off things all across America, be it ostriches or dirt bikes.
You did fall off a lot of stuff, didn't you? Well, that's
I actually
cool.
crashed 2 ostriches in one day. I don't even know how many people alive can say that.
What were you playing Joust? How did you bust out that
wish.
business?
All I walked away with was like an ostrich egg-sized bruise.
That's pretty good. All right, so here's the thing. A lot of people may not know what the deal is. So we're going to start off, actually. We'll watch the actual episode of JV's World that started this whole thing. Some people liked it. Some people didn't like it. But here's the thing. And any time something new happens, it's scary for people. And I know that when Scam School launched, a lot of people didn't like it. And there was a lot of hate, which is part of why that Flame Wars video is so hilarious to me. But so it's not surprising that when something new comes out, there'll be people who say, I don't like it at first. But just so we all have a handle on what we're looking at, let's go ahead and take a quick peek at the first episode. And if you've already seen it, then I apologize for sitting through it. But we've got a lot of people who don't really know what the buzz is on this. So let's check it out.
Hey, stick around. I'm going to tell you why MTV can go straight to hell. Welcome. I'm your host, JV. And this is how I see the world. Kind of cracked out. Not so free anymore. Yeah, I'm kind of cynical from all the things that I see. But this is my world. This is JV's World on Revision 3. I want to start this episode talking about America. America, this great nation of ours, I don't need to tell you, is in a vulnerable position.
Vulnerable position. It is flirting with absolute economic and financial disaster.
Some say we are headed for a depression that is going to be worse than the Great Depression of the 1930s.
Foreclosures jumped 81% last year. That equates to 1 in every 54 homes.
So I'm flipping through the channels the other day, and there...
By the way, real quick, either Brett or Justin Robert Young, have either of you guys seen this before?
I've seen the first 3
I watched
minutes.
it last night after I talked to you.
Okay, so you did watch it. Okay, any comments about it? Because
Yeah.
I think the opening is pretty tight. I think the opening graphic is good. I don't mind the layout. It's busy and silly, you know, but in that kind of way that we used to think Bloomberg was hilarious and busy and serious, you know. What's your take?
Yeah, I think my biggest thing with it, I only watched about 3 minutes of it yesterday, just because I was doing other stuff.
By the way, that's 2/3 of it, because they're only 5-minute episodes, which is actually.
So I watched practically the whole thing.
You practically watched the whole thing.
Let's say I watched almost the whole thing. The bottom line is, like, before I even went into it, the title is "It's JV's World," and then the tagline is "You're just living in it," and I was like, wow, that's never been used before.
You're like, that's awfully discourteous of you. I believe that this is all of our worlds. All right.
MTV is the television show called Cribs. Are you f***ing kidding me? Are you high? Are you on dope? Are you smoking skunk, dude that runs MTV? Bro, people are losing their homes by the thousands, and you're still airing a show called Cribs, where rich people give a guided tour of their luxurious estate each step of the way, bragging about they have that poor people will never have? You eat and die. Hey, MTV, eat and die. Now get this. MTV caters to teens, right? So you'd think in these, they would be sensitive to their viewers. Oh no, MTV is airing special episodes of Cribs called Teen Cribs. So all of you families that have lost your homes, watch as these teenagers brag about their amazing cribs.
What's up, MTV? I'm John Michael. Welcome to my crib. I'm 17 years old.
By the way, real quick, can I just point out the hilariousness that I find for the fact that you're watching this, like, this is an episode of Cribs that's being played in a small window of another show called JV's World, where it's got all this other stuff all around it, and it's being played through the crappy filter of the BBLiveShow. So it's like successive layers until finally it just looks, well, kind of like it did to begin with.
All right, so this is my house.
Yeah.
This is the foyer and the living room.
You eat and die.
Now that we've seen all the cool stuff in the main house, let's go out to the warehouse.
Okay, that's enough. Let me ask you something.
Yeah, all right. I think that's enough too. Okay. Now here's the thing. Here's the thing. It's very difficult to launch something new on the internet, and it was really rough with Scam School because when Scam School first came out, a lot of haters. I led off with what I thought was the best bar trick I knew, and I was a little bit kind of blown away. Like I actually went for something that was kind of a I don't want to say controversial, but I guess it was in dispute. Like people thought I was ripping somebody else off. I mean, you can speak to that, Justin, since you're drinking right now.
Well, yeah. I mean, like when Brian first launched, I think the first interview I ever did with you, like the second question was, why'd you rip off Daniel Garcia? Simply because that's what people were asking us on iTricks. So between that and oh look, it's it's Alex Albrecht's pointy-haired brother doing stuff on Revision 3. Like I think there was the initial kind of wave of hate for you.
They really said that about me?
Yeah, they did. Brian, it's time you stop living in your delusion bubble and face facts.
The fact is, you're a hack rip-off. What was that sound? Was that?
That was actually. I wish it were a fart.
That was
I so wish it's this thing. I guess it goes down.
Well, here's
I don't know.
Okay, so here's the thing. So I led off with what I thought was a home run material, and it still generated tons of hate, tons of flaming right from the get-go. And for me, my tactic was, look, if people just watch 5-6 episodes, they're going to see it. And that was one thing that I was really happy with Revision 3 is that it was David Prager's idea. He said, look, we got all these different episodes. They're all different styles. Let's do a launch week where we do a new episode every single day for 4 days straight, and then we go to one a week. So it's like by the end, it's like you've got 20-plus minutes. You get what the show is about, and you're going to be into it, and then you'll start watching it week to week, which I thought was a really good idea. It is very tough. I feel bad for JV because you launch with one thing and that's your one thing, and you got a whole week till the next one, and then they got a week to talk about that, and then another week till the third one. Very difficult. But I felt like he went for if we could talk game theory here for just a second. I feel like he went for a base hit. It's for example, oh shoot, yeah, they're pointing out in the chat room that it's actually 2 weeks because it's bi-weekly, bi-monthly, bi-weekly, semi-monthly. Is that right?
Twice monthly.
Right, twice
monthly.
Bi-weekly, which means it's going to be a month till his third episode comes out. And for something that's character-driven, that's a long time. That's a long time to go. So I felt like, to me, watching this, I felt like he went for some low-hanging fruit, a safe base hit. Because what's funny is watching the chat room, when he was talking about MTV, everybody was jumping in and be like, oh, I hate MTV Cribs. And, so he certainly said something that resonated with viewers. I don't know. I think he did an okay job of picking his target there. What say you, Justin Robert?
There's a fine line between aiming for a base hit and populist pap, though. Like, and I'm not saying
you thought it was cheap populism.
I'm not saying that it's awful. I'm just saying that, like, number one, I'm finally glad that somebody stood up and pointed out that MTV has dropped in quality in the last 20 years. Because no one else has ever mentioned that trend.
I think you got some cutting-edge comedy there.
Yeah, and like it's not that it's awful. It's just that I think, and this is maybe a strategy by Revision 3, that they're catering to a different kind of audience than was already in the fold in Revision 3. They're trying to bring in some different kind of people.
Which I think...
it's just, no matter what, you're going to have to realize that is going to not be the cup of tea of the people who like Scam School or Techzilla or Dignation or Totally Rad Show.
I'd say that's the two I would claim are not mutually exclusive. First of all, I think it's the right call for where they are. Revision 3 has got to expand their audience. This is a land grab at this moment, and we've got to people have to claim mind share from different groups. And I think it sounds to me like maybe it was a smart decision to bring a strong personality with what's his name? Dennis Miller? Dennis Miller. A Dennis Miller type of ranty kind of powerful. That's something that's not in the Revision 3 lineup right now, so I think it complete the story. So
and by the way, if you want to respond to Brian's last comment, you can Twitter him at CompanyMan. Twitter.com.
You're killing me. You're killing me. All right.
So what grabbed me about the whole thing was I went through and I read the message boards and everything, and it didn't seem like people had a problem with JV himself. It was literally the topic, and I kind of felt the same way. I was like, MTV, all right, the problem with this, and the reason I could never be this guy and I could never do this kind of show is he leads off with, why is this still on the air? I'm like, well, because people watch it. It wouldn't be on the air if it didn't grab the ratings.
Yeah, and I think there's a decidedly part of the complete anarchy of the internet, I think, lends itself to a more kind of libertarian survival of the fittest when it comes to different ideas. And I think a lot of people who hang out on the internet are like you, Brett, where they say, well, why is it still on the air? Well, because people continue to watch it, and there's a need for people to, blah, 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 right? But here's the thing. I kind of don't want to...
And not to mention, like, also in the... Yeah, sorry to interrupt you, Brian. But like in the early 80s, we had a recession that is at this point, far worse than the one we're going through right now.
Right.
And that was when like lifestyles of the rich and famous started. Like there was a long and storied history of recessions being marked by escapist entertainment for a downtrodden populace. That's what we look to watch.
And it goes back even farther than that. During the time of the French Revolution, they loved the royalty, the uber rich, the blessed by God, and they hated the bourgeoisie, the people who sold them their bread and milk, and just a little bit higher on the ladder than they were. I think you nailed it with escapist entertainment. That's the reason for it. But here's the thing, though. I don't want to judge the show because I feel like one episode's not enough of a sample. I would hate it if anyone judged Scam School on any one episode because I feel like there's going to be every episode. There's going to be one episode you love, one episode you hate, a couple episodes that are base hits, and I think you really got to give, especially short format content, a good 5 listens before you really make a thumbs up, thumbs down.
That's how I feel with Amtrekker too. Just because I fell off of 3 things the last 3 weeks doesn't mean I'm gonna fall off of something the 4th.
No, although with Amtrekker there is a distinction there because I honestly feel like you don't really get the Amtrekker story until you've watched 20 to 25 episodes. Very important.
True. That's a good point. Get out there, people. Watch 20 to 25.
Hold on, let me fix this while I'm thinking about it. Hold on, we'll just. There seems to be a. There we go. Oh, I wrote amtrekhiker.com. that would not be good.
Yeah. Whoa!
I'm glad you didn't finish. That never would have left the interweb.
Well,
someone would have screen grabbed that.
Already, the show off to a smashing success. Okay, so here's what's fascinating to me. By the way, I guess, and I actually think the comments were pretty much exactly. You know, what would be interesting, and I'm sure some of the people in the chat room can call this up instantly because they're all wizards. But I wonder if you did side by side looking at Scam School's first day versus JV's world, like in the first couple of pages before things started to pollute themselves and become self-corrupting. Like just the initial first impressions, there's a lot of negative talk about Scam School and a few positive.
Yeah, but and I guess this is where we're going next. But there was a 30-minute audio files worth of difference between how you handled the first haters for Scam School with how JV handled the first haters for JV's world.
Okay, so yeah, now first of all, before we move forward, because you're absolutely right with where I'm going to head next. I do want to say I am optimistic. I think there's a real place, even when I disagree with rants. There's a lot of times I disagree with Jon Stewart. I always love watching The Daily Show. Whether or not I agree or disagree with JV, I think there's a place as long as he continues to be funny and surprise me. That's the one thing I ask for in all entertainment is surprise me. And by the way, the best part, I should, to give JV his due, the best part of this. Hang on, let's see if I can. Nah, it's not gonna.
Dot.
Now that we've seen
kind of
all the
weird
cool
watching
stuff in
it
the
this
main
way.
house, let's go to the warehouse.
Let me scoot this forward.
And I'm like, Dad, you're
There is one
shaking
part
up the
that is
TV,
genuinely
Dad.
making me laugh.
maybe that part was not true. But I'm still pissed off. And I don't think I'm alone. What about all these people that have lost their home watching that? Isn't it?
This part is awesome.
I'm really glad he got Nick Cage.
If you could just say yes, it would work for the piece. Just say yeah.
Give me a slap in the face.
Yeah. If you could just look at the camera and say that's a huge slap.
Yeah, it's a slap in the face.
All right. If you could say it's a huge slap in the face.
It's a huge slap.
I mean.
Yeah. It could be very, very big slap in the face.
Well, it's a slap in the face.
Look at you. Look how fortunate you are, and look how fortunate I am. You know.
Yeah. It's like a slap in the face.
I tell you, it's karma. It'll eventually come
it'll
back
come back and
on
get you, Rich.
All right, so anyway, moments like that was a genuine surprise to me, and that's what gives me optimism about the show. Now, having said that, let's switch. So can we all agree that we will table for now the quality of the show to be determined when we've watched 5 episodes? Is that all in favor of the motion? Say aye.
Aye.
Screw you! You've been out. Oh, I was about to say you've been outvoted, douche. That's. But so now let's talk real quick about tactics. So shall we call it that?
Can I point out really quickly? This is an imported juice box because it is Cinco de Mayo.
Oh, that's good. I'm a terrible American because I'm drinking juice that was brewed in Kentucky, Milwaukee.
And you're an even worse Mexican.
Yeah. By the way, Daniel Garcia sent out a Twitter. Did you get that Twitter? Did you see what it said, Robert?
Yeah. Well, he wanted to point out everybody for Cinco de Mayo, it was a time for you to bring a tall, cool glass of lemonade out to your gardener.
To celebrate Cinco de Mayo. Oh, Daniel Garcia, terrible person. All right, so here's the thing. When Scam School launched, there were haters, and they all had, some of them had legitimate complaints, and some of them had illegitimate complaints. But the point is the internet's a different place. It is my theory. Maybe I'm wrong here. Maybe I'm totally crazy, because I'm actually going to reverse everything I'm saying now. I'm going to take back later on, and I'll explain why. But it is my theory that on the internet, you cannot front, you cannot posture. There is no room for Paris Hiltonism or for Britney Spearsism. There's no manufacture of your posture as being greater than somebody else on the internet. Let me get first of all, how does that read with you guys in the chat room? So I don't know if this is coming. They say that guy is high, so is the host. So thank you. Apparently, I'm totally wrong right off the bat. Okay, so they say yeah. Okay, good. So having said that, I think it was a tactical error, and somebody in the chat rooms brought up specifically Gary Vaynerchuk took a lot of heat for being kind of silly and obnoxious on a recent episode of Dig Nation, and he leveled with the people directly, answering them one at a time to voice that he understood their concerns and saw where he was coming from, and he would do his best to fix it. A lot of people turned around, and he got a lot of fans out of it. I tried to do the same thing with Scam School because a lot of people thought that I was ripping off Daniel Garcia, and I wrote each of them individually saying, hey, by the way, I'm the guy who taught Daniel that effect. Second of all, other people thought, oh, he's ripping off The Real Hustle. I was like, actually, we're both ripping off Harry Anderson, who ripped off the original con man back in the 1940s. And, so I spent a lot of time individually dealing with people. JV didn't go that way. He had a bit of a different tactic, which it surprised me. It was a little bit different.
But it's in character, right? I mean, does that count for anything on the web? I honestly don't know the answer to this question, but it was in character. Does that say something?
It was in character, but it was, oh, shoot.
Oh, I think it says a lot of things.
Hang on.
It says about 2 days worth of threads.
Hold on. Oh, man. So, by the way, first of all, they're playing the drinking game. For those of you guys who don't know, we play a drinking game here on the BB Live Show. At some point before the show starts, everyone in the chat room gets together, and they pick a secret word that every time I say it, you have to take a drink. And in this case, apparently I've said it 5 times. Do we have any guesses as to what the drinking phrase is? Brett, you got a guess?
I actually know the drinking.
Oh, you know. Okay, so I want to. What about you, jury duty?
Oh, I don't know it. I'm gonna say douche.
Okay. Well, we'll ask the chat room. Show me douche.
Survey says.
Is that it?
No.
Oh, that's not it?
No.
Okay, so it's not douche. All right, we'll check in back later on when we get beyond it. But that's a very good question. So JV had an unconventional response, which, by the way, I'm being told that I should check Twitter because I'm told. So I guess JV's actually hearing about or watching or. Oh no! That's fantastic. Look, if JV's watching, have him call in because I'd love to hear about it because.
Yeah, that'd make this whole thing.
Yeah, no, that would be fantastic.
That's that'd be the get.
Tell him to call in at 866-462-4424. That would be a lot of fun. So, JV had a little bit of a different.
Dude, he's gonna be so pissed with all the shit you were talking.
I was not talking, dude. You are a pot stirrer.
Everybody
you, sir, are a pot stirrer.
Heard that, yeah.
You, sir, are a pot stirrer.
Was like, listen, there's only room for one super badass on Revision 3, and his name is Brian Brushwood.
You are so wrong, sir. You are so wrong. You are so wrong. All right.
Yeah.
Oh,
as soon as JV gets in here, you're 10. He's gonna tan your hide, my friend. It'll take like 2 minutes for me to get that one out.
Oh, you're a bad man. You're a bad man. All right. So again, talking tactics. Here's the thing. My game is to I guess the puppy dog game, where it's like, hey, dude. Nobody's smart. I'm not smarter than you. I'm not better than you. I'm nothing. I'm an idiot with ridiculous, stupid hair who has a terrible show. But I think if you watch a few episodes, you'll like me. JV's episode was a little bit more interesting. He had this.
Okay, granted. The first episode is a little weak. I did it from my house, you little dicks.
Okay.
Yeah, it's in character, though, right? I mean, he's a shock jock. He's doing his thing. That's the persona that he wants to put out to the world. And it's worked for him on radio. Can it work for him on the web? Is the web such a mutually exclusive environment that that's not going to work here?
But he has.
Imagine this is like the Lost experience, right? You can watch Lost on TV, but this was bringing it into real life. Now he's insulting you.
Oh, come on, you killed me. All right, so and that's a good question. Now here's the thing: JV has a very passionate fan base because he engenders respect from his listeners. It's obvious that he cares passionately about his listeners. I don't know if he was making a tactical play of sacrificing the folks on the forums who say criticism, and maybe he didn't know. Maybe he didn't know. Look, everything new on the internet, everybody talks bad about. They all hate it until they love it. That's is where I'm coming from. But
Put them together down the line. Okay, granted. The first episode is a little weak. I did it from my house, you little dicks.
JV's World actually did hate.
You don't even realize I'm on your side. I mean, okay, the first episode is, as far as looking at it, a lot of it is garbage. Okay, all right, fine. There's some things that I get. Like you had your underwear pulled up your backside, and you were at Revision 3 expecting to see, like, me doing, I don't know what, animation that's on a level of cartoons that you jerk it to, or were you expecting me to have claws like the X-Men? Okay, so I'm sorry, everything else on Revision 3 was like way up here. As far as aesthetics, they were, they were doing things I wasn't. I was just a little dude like you, just a little.
All right. So here's the, and if you listen to the whole thing, it's available online. I just would love to know what he was going for there, because it's obvious that he wants to win over the Revision 3 crowd, and he says repeatedly that he's on their side, but then he's also insulting them, and I suspect it's tough when you've got two groups you're trying to serve, when you've got your hardcore fans from your outside from your radio world, and then you've also got this dedicated Rev 3 fan base. I don't know, maybe he just picked a team and decided to sacrifice one for the other. It's unfortunate. I don't know. What did you listen to the rest of this?
I didn't listen to any of it, actually, but I think that's a really interesting point, because basically they're both trying to grow their audiences, right? JV and Revision 3, and they're both doing the exact opposite and like just trenching in the audiences that they do have. After one episode, I don't know what's going to happen from here.
Okay, well, first of all, before we move forward, Justin, what about you? What say you, sir? He's lost, he's frozen in thought. Oh, there he is, he's back, okay. Justin.
Sorry about that. Yeah.
I'm sorry, everything's fine. Go, keep going.
Okay. Number one, obviously, the passionate man. That's how he made it on radio. That's how he's going to succeed, and it does on Revision 3. So I think it's just a matter of boiling over. But I'm really going out on a limb in saying dealing with a radio audience is different than dealing with an internet audience. Yeah, this is hilarious.
No, what's hilarious is we can't understand a single word because you got the total robot.
That's not true. We could totally understand 2 out of every 3 words, and then the third word went.
Oh, dude, it was pretty hilarious. It was worse. It was way worse than how Brett sounded when he called in earlier. So I don't know if you want to try booting again. You're frozen now too. With your Serpico face. Hello. Hello. Hello.
I'm trying to hang up and call you.
All right, so Brian, real quick.
Yes.
JV's World over here, he Twittered, it says, "Are you really reviewing me? Those guys threw up a demo from 5 months ago."
No, I'm not reviewing. I'm not, and I thought I tried to make that pretty clear, where it's like you watch it, you get an idea for what he's going for. I think it's important. There are people who haven't seen any of it at all to watch it, and I'll be the first to say it's not fair to, and I'm pretty sure I was the guy repeatedly saying that you shouldn't judge any short format content until you've watched 5 episodes, right? I did say that, right?
Fact.
Yeah, okay, so I was setting up to me, what's interesting is not how good or not good the show is, because I think the show's got tremendous potential, and Revision 3 is a good judge of characters. Even when they had Gary Vaynerchuk on and his show didn't work out, it didn't work out not because Gary wasn't talented or interesting or a good personality. It didn't work out because taking the long format show and cramming it into a 5-minute segment turned out not to be the right idea, and that's by Revision 3's own admission. That's not what I'm discussing. What I'm talking about is I think it's really interesting the tactical decision that was made with the podcast, because I'm assuming that JV would like everybody to like his show, and maybe I'm wrong about that. Maybe that's my wrong initial condition. But if that's the case, if what you want is your radio audience to dig you and Revision 3's audience to dig you, it's a little bit of an interesting tactic.
The only guy who was fired at the time, sitting at my house, I just put a little something together. Revision 3 said, "Hey, why don't you do whatever's on your mind at the time?" Does the people now got to move out? What was I? Are you like a hick and I'm the black person that moved in on the block and now, oh, God, okay, we got nothing left. Us white people got nothing. Head for the hill. I'm not.
It's weird because you listen, he really pings pongs back and forth between I'm the same as you guys, you should like me, but it's hard for me to, it's hard for anyone to like somebody. So here's what it boils down to: is this was super polarizing on the forums. If you read the chat rooms, all of a sudden everybody dug in and got super entrenched. Hold on. Here's what Ustream tweeted out: setting things on fire, making things disappear. Yeah, what I'm setting on fire is my career. What I'm making disappear is my viewership. Thank you, Ustream. That's too bad. I really wish JV would call in, because I think I don't know. I think we get along really well, because that's something I really try. And unfortunately, whatever word got to him is the kind of backwards exact opposite of whatever it is I said. I don't know. So opinions. What say you, Brett?
Well, I think the answer to your question.
Go for it, jury duty.
Sorry, am I not in time warp anymore?
No. Yeah, you sound good now. You actually sound great. Keep going.
Do it. Yeah, all right. Well, just if anybody hasn't read it, yeah, it's Are You Really Reviewing Me? Those guys threw up a demo from 5 months ago, but I'm not an editor radio guy. Who are you to review me? And it's like, well, no, I'm not reviewing you, and I'm not. So
right. Okay.
that would be the answer to that simple question.
First of all, yeah, no. Regardless, he's not watching this. What's happening is people are saying, somebody Twittered him saying, dude, Schwood's talking bad about you, and that's not what I was doing, but that's what somebody wanted him to believe. Don't worry about that. I mean, that's that's that. I'm going to chalk that up to miscommunication. That's not how that works.
No one gets anything out of repeating this until it becomes a major issue. So I'll just stop repeating the fact that this happened.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Potster, the fan steamer.
So I haven't heard the entire audio, but is it him by himself talking the whole time?
Yeah, which I actually, and again, it's like, I love Dennis Miller's rants. I think there's a place for rants, 5 minutes, kind of intense, very fast, and especially if they're poignant and surprising. And what I liked the most about it was that he got out of the studio and actually went to MTV, made for much more compelling content than whatever. Again, I think the program has potential.
Maybe these
Just
guys,
curious.
they're pissed off because some shows are gone, but maybe if by episode 3 some of them come around, you'd be glad that there wasn't the big war with them. You don't have to alienate them.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, don't alienate them. That's great advice.
Back to what I was saying, I apologize to the listeners that were expecting me to be me. Because, I do. I'm constantly looking out for everyone else. So then when people attack me, then of course, then I ain't no little bitch. See, that's the thing. I was a little tiny skinny guy, but I didn't frickin' run home. My glasses were always getting stomped. Sometimes I was the one stomping them just so that the dudes that were coming down the street would see, we already took care of that guy. Someone already got him and effed him up.
Good point.
I'm you, dummy. Except that...
calling people dummies doesn't. I don't know.
All
okay,
right,
now.
Here's where I was going with the question about whether or not it was
all right,
him
as a
talking the whole time.
fan of talk radio, there is a different way by which you make your audience on radio than there is on the internet. On radio, you pretty much have to salt the earth of the show previous to you, conquer the land, and hold it, and defend your territory. On the internet, on Revision 3, your greatest benefit of being on radio as opposed to just doing something yourself is inheriting that audience. So going into that audience and salting the earth and burning the memories of those before you like you would on radio doesn't necessarily translate.
So you think it's a tactical error, but okay. So here, let me do this. All right?
I just think it's different.
Well, okay. Now I'm glad you used that word because now I'm going to take back everything I said before, which I warned you I was going to do. I said I was going to say a bunch of stuff, and I was going to take it all back. Do you realize that in the history of Revision 3, there has never been a thread with this much action on it? It was 35 pages in like 12 hours, so much so that they eventually locked the thread. Unprecedented move. They locked the thread and said, let's wait until everything calms down before they resumed it. Now, what that says is there is passion, whether it's positive or negative, we're not going to, there is intensity to this issue. Okay, so if I could go back to what I was saying originally, right? What did I say originally? Is I came out and there were people who passionately hated Scam School and a few people who thought it was kind of cool, right? And what I figured out, or what seemed to work for me, is that anyone who passionately hated Scam School, they had a passionate feeling about the show. And for me, my tactic was to engage them and say, what is it you feel about it? And the number one thing is with this ridiculous hairstyle I have, a lot of people think I'm posturing or I'm trying to look good. That's a problem that magician has in general because, Chris Angel has done a lot to really portray the larger than life, I am better than the rest of you people's kind of image of magicians. So already a lot of that working against me. So for me, what I realized is people who that passionately dislike the show upon a first viewing, when I would talk to them and say, what are your concerns? Oh, I hear you, stick around for episode 3. They would turn around and passionately like it. A lot of people right now in the chat rooms were actually saying they started off, they didn't really like the show, but they gave it some time and now it's one of their favorite shows or whatever, right? So,
yeah,
could it be right? This is my question, and this is actually what everything for the last 40 minutes has been leading up to. And unfortunately, it's very likely that none of this will get remembered. All that will get remembered is what is that JV decided
the awful things that you said about JV is the only thing that'll be remembered.
You guys, I hate you. All right, so
and frankly, I can't believe you even said some of those things.
Oh, you're evil. Okay, so
I mean, I'll tell you what. I don't even know how you can get away with being that racist on Ustream. I'm just gonna say that.
Literally, I can't think of a single person I would say those things.
All right,
about,
hold on.
period.
Hey, by the way, it looks like on Twitter people are starting a little flame war. Do not flame on my behalf. Look, that is in all seriousness.
Brian has said enough.
No. I mean, I'm
enough. We don't need to add to it.
I'm looking at you, Mavrev Matt. Please, let's stop the flame war before it begins. That's not at all what I'm interested in. But by the way, you're being called the Al freaking Sharpton. Oh no, wait, that's me. I guess I'm the Al Sharpton of Rev 3 because I'm saying the exact opposite. You're killing me. All right, so the point
no
is,
justice, no peace.
Oh, I hate you. Okay, so here's what I'm suggesting. I'm thinking micro scale. Individual person has a passionate feeling, positive or negative, about the show. Let's say it's negative. You do some judo. You make them see that, oh yeah, no, I get where you're coming from now, and now I really like what you're going for. Could it be that I'm thinking too small? Because I've never gotten 35 pages of posts on a forum. I've never engendered any kind of that kind of passionate response. And could it be that this is all part of a master plan? Because people have kind of short memories. It's kind of funny. Could it be that this is an opportunity to have what's on the record be the first 5-minute pilot, right? And use this incendiary half-hour podcast to flame a very passionate response. And I guarantee you we're all going to watch the next episode, or a lot of us will. I'm sure people will say they're not going to watch it here. But could it be that they turn it around and actually engender on a mega scale a popular response, a positive response? Possible or not possible, Justin?
I mean, anything's possible. Oh, I guess we're gonna see, and you know, ultimately, I'm sure he hopes that that's gonna be the case. But again, this is a difference between you know, the uniqueness of the internet. I think that, you know, you need to go at your audience a little bit of a different way, and there have been a lot of people who have stirred up a lot of stuff way bigger than what JV's done on the Rev 3 forums, because that's still a relatively small minority, you know, that have sort of huge internet-wide, you know, S-storms that have you know, flamed out and are forgotten now. So I don't think it's a slam dunk that we might think it is in hindsight when people do these things.
Well, what I'm saying is that this was a double down, is what happened. You know, you had what I'm going to say is a solid first entry. Some people didn't like it. Some people did like it. Certainly, by the time you watch 5 episodes, you're going to know whether or not you like it or not. And this polarization, you know, is a gamble, and I'm really interested to see whether or not it plays out for the positive. Brett, you have a comment before we open up the phones?
I think it goes way back to like whether or not radio and the internet are the same kind of medium. I mean, this is what he wants to be doing if he's in radio. This is what Howard Stern wanted to be doing in radio. All he wants to do is create that passion. He doesn't care if it's positive or negative. Does that work on the internet or not?
Do you think he doesn't care if it's positive or negative, or do you think he starts with negative to get people's attention and then tries to turn it into positive, or you think he genuinely just doesn't care at all?
I think the idea is you want listeners, period, and it doesn't matter where they come from or why they're listening. If they're listening because they hate you, it still equates to ad dollars, right?
Yeah. By the way, in the chat room, they pointed out that I guess the new Ustream has me kind of messed up with this slider bar, but I had the chat terribly lagged, but I got that fixed right there. Well, let's do this. Let's actually open up to the phone lines. Now, listen, first of all, let's recap, just so we can head some stuff off at the past. Brian Brushwood... Not
hates
reviewing.
JV.
No, don't even say the words.
Oh,
I'm
sorry. I thought I was doing the recap.
Not only hates JV,
but
said that
wait,
he was the biggest pussy on Revision 3, and that's a quote. He said, by the way, quote me on that. My name is Brian Brushwood. I host Scam
You
School.
are totally killing
Book
me.
me at your local college.
Killing me. Okay, so here's where I am.
That's totally something Brian would say.
Whether or not the show's good, I'm actually not interested in discussing. You know what? Against my better judgment, I'll take this first call. We'll see what happens here. There we go. Hey, dude, it's Brian. You're on the air. What's going on? Going once, caller? Hello.
Hello?
Hello. Hey, buddy. What's going on?
Oh, this is so crazy. I figured I'd try and call in before there were a bunch of calls.
Oh, well, you nailed it, man. You made it happen. What's your name, bud?
This is Clifty.
Clifty, what's going on? What's your opinion on this shenanigans?
Well, my opinion, personally, is that his judgment in terms of what he did in his response. So, I'll give him the first episode. He has this bad first episode, whatever. Give him another shot. The revision, because I've been with the Revision 3 community for a very long time. And we'll give people another shot. But his judgment in terms of the way he attacked the community, specifically, I don't even have to watch another show to know what it's going to be like. It's totally inappropriate, and I understand.
Let's talk less conjecture about. Let's talk less conjecture about what future shows will be, because those will be what they're going to be. Here's my question: was his response such a tactical mistake that it in your mind you will or won't continue to watch episodes?
I will. All honesty, I'll probably watch the next episode.
Yeah,
I know the chat are going to be like, "Fuck you."
Yeah. Well, and that's why I had the theory that maybe he's playing a mega game. Maybe he's playing a bigger game on a macro scale, and this will end up working for him. Hey, I'm going to jump to this next call. Thanks for the call.
Call. Wait. Let me
I'm sorry.
ask the next.
All right, we'll ask the next call. Hey, dude, it's Brian. You're on the air. What's going on? Oh, and he dropped out. That's all right. Okay, so we do have a free line right now.
Here's what I want. I want the next caller to answer. And this is just a general thing, but I know that he brought it up during his rant. For any new anti-geek rant, say that we want to jerk off and fuck Starbucks for Battlestar Galactica instead of Princess Leia?
First of all, hang on. Yeah, that's a good point. Wait, caller, you got to turn down your volume. Caller, turn down your volume. Let's see if we can.
Hello?
There we go. Caller, turn down your volume, caller. There you go. Hey, man.
Turn
what's
down
going
your
on,
radio,
dude?
Caller.
What's up?
Not much. What's going on?
Hey, it's going well. What's up with you, man?
Not much. Just hanging out.
Right. What's your name? What's going on?
My wife's been treating me really bad. I just wanted to know, like if you have any tips or anything on getting a wife back.
To get your wife back?
Yeah.
I think the
Dude,
best.
she wants you to scam her wife.
The best advice comes from the chat room, which is just tell her how much you like turtles. That's really what'll get her back.
How much I like turtles?
Yeah, just look her straight in the eye and say, "I like turtles."
You could also try a 30-minute podcast.
You could,
maybe,
you know what?
maybe
that
tell
seems
her
to really work.
everything that you hate about her. If you maybe if you tell her you hate her hair.
No. Okay, no. Did you have a real question, or was it, or was it? By the way, there's conjecture that this is not that I actually know this caller, but I don't think I do actually. What did you have a question about the issue or a comment on what we were talking about?
Buzzify.com. www.buzzify.com.
Buzzify. Oh, and he hung up.
JV, can you respond to what Brian said to you earlier on the Eastern?
Oh, no.
No, he hung up. He hung up.
Okay, gotcha.
JV hung up. That was JV.
Dude,
do
not stir this pot. I mean it. Don't stir this pot. I mean it. Hey, dude, it's Brian. You're on the air. What's going on? Caller. Person who called this number to talk to me. Use words. All right, we'll jump to this other
Ghost
one.
of Udis again.
Ghost of Udis, KEK7. Hey, dude, it's Brian. What's going on, man? Oh, and another drop off. Oh, man, a lot of... well, let's do... I don't know, maybe we'll change gears here. You guys want to take a short break, or do you have anything else you'd wanted to say about this business?
JV has another tweet up that's Revision 3 related. I don't know if you checked that out yet.
Oh, is it?
Says, I don't kiss anyone's ass, period. Some of the Revision 3 audience wanted to rip me for 3 days. When I sent it back, they fucking cried.
All right, hold on. Let's do this. Hey, it's Brian. You're on the air. What's going on, man?
Hey, Brian. It's Jared.
Hey, what's going on? It's who?
Jared from Dallas.
Oh, hey, what's going on, Jared?
What's up? You have a broken iPhone?
Yeah, I do, actually. Here, you can actually see that cracked iPhone. There you go.
So the thing I'm
buddy.
most concerned with, it has nothing to do with his attitude. Because, like, as an adult, I'm not really offended by what he says because, you know, he's just like an average bully. But what I'm curious about is what Revision 3 sponsors are going to do. I mean, they've got GoDaddy, which is...
No, don't worry about the sponsors, because the sponsors will go where the numbers are. You know, when you hit a certain level of popularity, if the content wins and is popular with people, it'll find an audience. Hang on, we got these guys calling again on the second line, so I'm sorry, I got to drop you on this one. Hey, dude, it's Brian. What's going on, man? Hello.
Yo.
Hey, what's up, man?
Hey, this is Steve. I just want to say, why aren't everyone taking this shit so serious? I mean, the guy on the internet called you an asshole or geek. Big fucking deal.
Wait, I guess I'm not here. Maybe we're having a hard time hearing you. So the question is, why do we care? Who cares?
No, why is everyone taking this so
serious? That's a good
question.
question.
A guy on the internet basically called you a bitch or geek. Who cares?
I think people are interested because as far as I know,
doesn't that go both ways?
Well, I think people are interested because as far as I know, this is unprecedented that a new show comes on and courts his future audience by insulting them. And again, I'm going to be the first to confess it could be that this is a stroke of genius. I don't know, but it certainly is fascinating and it's interesting enough that I wanted to do a little, I don't know, some armchair quarterbacking. By the way, we got a lot of people calling in on the Skype line. Do me a favor, call in on the toll-free line because the Skype line is tied up by Mr. Roboto over here, who sounds like a robot on the Uvu.
Real quick.
But that's good. So you're oh, I'm sorry, you had a comment about JV? Say it again.
Just real quick.
Yeah.
I've been a fan of JV for like 4 years, and that's just what he is. He does that shit all the time. Routine, that's the thing. You get it or you don't. You don't.
Well, and maybe that's the case. Maybe it's a tried and true method, and it's worked well for talk radio. And maybe we are a cloistered small community of forum posters. And I say we, I don't have a dog in the fight either way. But in fact, if I was smart, I wouldn't have had this discussion. but it could be.
I know. Who would suggest that?
It could. Who would suggest that I'm smart? Nobody. But the important thing, I think it's very shocking and unusual. Certainly in the history of the online shows on Revision 3, I don't remember anyone playing the game quite this way. It's really interesting, and I'll be watching just for that. I'm going to jump to another call. Thanks for the submission, man. Hey, dude, it's Brian. You're on the air. What's going on, man?
Hey, it's Brian.
Hey, it's who?
How's it going?
It's who is this?
Hey, I just want to say, big fan. This is Meridian from the chat room. And Tom, just wanted to call in.
And well, good. Do you have a comment, something specific you want to go with?
Yeah. I think the real problem here, and the real problem that everybody's having, is simply his hate speech in their response. I mean, if you want to call me dumb, that's fine, but I didn't say anything on it. For him to come back was something that's not right.
That's a good point, and I'm hesitant to. Hate speech is a very loaded term, and it's one that's sort of like shouting pedophile, where it short circuits any or a lot of rational decision making. And so and especially knowing there are so many comics that we know and love who use what would on the surface look like race baiting and racism and sexism, but deep down they're an okay guy, and that's something if you read JV's defenders, they all feel like they all say repeatedly, they're like no he doesn't hate, he just uses those words to get a rise out of people, and whether that's true or not, I'm inclined as somebody who is prone to say stupid stuff to want to give him the benefit of the doubt. So I don't want to come down just on the hate. I don't know, is that fair or unfair for me to go with, Justin? Justin Robert
No,
Young?
I think that the only way that we should define hate speech is the tirade that you went on against the man earlier
Would you
in this Houston
stop
podcast.
with the lies? You're gonna kill. You're slaying me. Come on.
I'm just kidding. Oh, everybody! I'm just playing a role. I'm playing a fun little role on the Ustream. Calm down. No, I think that ultimately, if you can't come to grips with the fact that people say the worst possible words on the planet on the internet, then you should really just eat a pint of ice cream and crawl into bed, because it's over for you and your understanding of this random media.
All right. Hey, we got somebody else. Hold on. We got another caller. I'm going to jump over to this other caller. All right. Hey, it's Brian, man. What's going on? You want to weigh on this?
Hey,
Oh, hey, let me get you to turn down your radio. We got a little bit of, I said radio. Look at that. I wish I could be on radio. The 12 people in the chat room are making too much noise. What's going on, caller? What's up, man?
what's up? My name is Gabriel, and I'm just calling. I just turned on my Twitter, and I see Schwood flaming JV, and I don't know what's going on, and I really want to know.
No.
And I want to hear from your mouth.
Thank God. Oh, thank you so much for asking directly. That, sir, is a level of commitment that I appreciate. Here's a short version is to fill people in, to explain the story thus far. We played a bit of JV's first episode and said I think it's not fair to judge anything on the first episode. I think for short form content, you got to give it 5 episodes before you really have an opinion on it. What I wanted to talk about is not the quality of the episode itself, because, like I said, it's not fair to judge the first thing. You got to give it 5, and we're going to see where the voice goes, and I'm really interested to see where it goes. What was of
that
interest
was right
to
before
me,
he peed on a photo of JV.
Oh yeah, okay, shut up. Listen, and what did fascinate me is the follow-up, is the tactical decision, because there were haters on the chat room or on the forums, but there are always haters. Every time anything new comes out anywhere on the internet, there's always. That's why I started off playing the Flame War videos, to show that everyone's a hater until they decide they love it. And I'm very interested in what this is, armchair quarterbacking about what JV's game plan is. Is it, as some people have claimed, that he just so does not understand the mentality of online forum posters that he has irreparably separated, distanced himself from his possible future audience? Or is it, as I am proposing, that it could be this is a stroke of a bizarre, twisted genius? Because, as I pointed out, in the history of Revision 3, I've never seen a thread get 35 pages of posts on anything in 24 hours. So much traffic that they had to shut it down. So if he's able to win over the crowd, could it be that this is an attention grab and he's going to win them over in the end? In which case, that would be fascinating and unprecedented. Uh-oh, we got crazy buzzing. Is that your AC over there, Jury Duty?
No.
I don't know.
Shouldn't be.
No, okay. All right. Well, you know what? We'll deal with that noise. But anyway, so we're just playing some armchair quarterbacking, wondering what's going on, and unfortunately, I mean, I would love to have JV call in. That would be interesting. But I'm guessing that if it is part of a master plan, it's not in his best interest to actually tip his hand.
Pull
right
back
now.
the curtain.
What's that? Say that again.
Yeah, it's not in his best interest to let everybody know that this is the master plan. And then I would like to point out to the caller, then Brian challenged JV to an arm wrestling match.
God damn it.
So
I hate
make
you
sure
so
that everybody
much.
spreads
Justin
that around.
Robert Young of iTrix, I hate you so much.
And
So seriously, one of the points I wanted to make.
All right, hold on. Let me wrap
back
things up. Let me wrap things up with the caller. Caller, did that make sense? Do you feel like you're brought up to speed? Was that fair?
Yeah, it was fair, but what is it that you said that offended so much?
I really don't know. The word, as far as I understand, there's a Twitter that JV says, "You're reviewing my show. How dare you?" But that was of course not what I did and not my intention. So anyway, I'm going to jump over to this other call. Does that work for you, bud?
All right, man. Thank you.
All right, take care, man. Have a good one. Hello, this is Brian. What's going on, buddy? I don't know if he dropped off or not. Caller, are you there, bud? Going once. Going twice. Caller, I am hanging up on you now. That's good. By the way, I've watched a lot of cable access, and I'm surprised, and I'm afraid I'm going to invite trouble here. But so far, we've had no OCD spazzes calling, there was a guy who used to call this brilliant show called The Show with No Name, and all he would do is he would call over and over again saying, Alex Jones, please. Alex Jones, please. And this is before Alex Jones was famous. He was famous in Austin. By the way, R. Peterson 0910 is calling on Skype. I can't answer on Skype because we got that line tied up with Brett, so call the toll-free number. Hey, dude, it's Brian. What's going on, man?
Hey, Brian. I was just going to comment on Davey. I think that he's very similar to Howard Stern. He's going to get attention drawn to him, and from the people right now who are watching the show, the people in the forums, they're the vocal minority. So there's a lot of people who will never hear his rant. They'll never read the forums. What they're going to do is they're going to see, possibly they're going to hear his name, they're going to watch the show. The same thing with Howard Stern. I mean, everybody knows that he's zany, he's offbeat, he's colorful, and they watch him. Some people watch him and get turned off, but a lot of people who never knew about him actually now, will watch the show and they enjoy it. There's a lot of people who like that humor. Otherwise, you wouldn't have a radio show.
This is interesting.
So
do you think
you're right?
Do you think this is an intentional chess match where he sacrifices one valuable piece? Let's say, I'm not going to say that I'm not going to, I think the forums are a very powerful piece. So I would say, a queen or a rook. Do you think he's sacrificing a rook or a queen in order to gain tactical position for the larger game? Is that what you think? It's an intentional. Yeah. I'm gonna sell these guys.
He can always come back and say, "Look, I'm not being hateful with my speech. It's how I am. Look at everything I've done. Go check out all these videos that I've put on the internet. That's my personality. I apologize if you thought I was being rude." And honestly, I will watch his show more because of the content of the show, because I'm not offended by his speech. But, I mean, I think that he should tone it down a little bit in insulting people, but then again, that's who he is.
Awesome. All right, hey, I'm going to jump to
this
next
call. It's an interesting concept. So what you're saying is
it's
like easier to beg forgiveness than it is to ask permission, but in an advertising throughout the internet context.
That's very interesting, because certainly he's generated a lot of interesting talk.
But all right, if I can put one hole in that, like, sorry, caller. Number one, the Revision 3 is different than a radio market. Like, it's chiefly in that most of the Revision 3 audience watches multiple shows. They go between, it's a shared kind of community, and that's kind of the benefit of being in the stable of Revision 3. The second thing is that if he makes a huge stink and, has this record traffic on Revision 3's forums, the problem is there's nobody there to cover that. Like, it's not like TechCrunch is going to be like, oh, look at this guy who just started a riot on the Revision 3 forums. There's no outside coverage that could bring a larger audience that would see that as significant.
That's a good point. I mean, the people that are talking the Revision 3 forums are only the people that know how to use the Revision 3 forums. It's not like they're going to be coming from anywhere else.
By the way, I tell you what, caller, I'm gonna drop you off. We got so many calls coming in. I'm gonna jump to this next one. Thanks, man. Hey, dude, it's Brian. You want to weigh in on this with us? Hello, caller. You are on the air, sir. Even on the air. What an antiquated face. I'll jump to the next one. Hey, dude, it's Brian. What's going on, man?
Hey, how you doing there?
Hey, I'm doing well. What's up, bud?
Hey, I just see you on Twitter here, and I want to know exactly what's going on between you and this JV's World guy.
Okay, so you're coming in late. And I guess
you catch him up.
All right, with each successive call, I'll give shorter and shorter versions.
Before we continue, you're cool. Your shirt is awfully cool.
You like the rainbow effect, the paint in the rainbow?
Yeah, where did you get that at? Honestly, I can't find shirts that small at the stores out here.
That's fullbleed.org. Here, I'll even type it down for you. But
it looks like it's extra medium. But please go ahead, tell me what's going on with JV's World.
Okay, hold on. Let me do fullbleed.org.
And your hair is awesome too, by the way.
Short version.
Very 1982, but go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. Short version.
He really thinks you're cute, Brian.
Hold on, pot stirrer, Mr. Fan Flamer. You keep your mouth shut. Short version. Short version is that we are talking about the tactical decision, which I don't know that we've ever seen before, to generate. We don't know if it's to generate publicity or to sacrifice, to throw some people under the bus, or if it's to lose people with the intention of winning them over later on. But we're fascinated by the 30-minute rant against the
this guy's a sweetheart.
No, he is. That's actually our standard fare caller. for the BB Live show. Hey, dude, caller,
Yeah.
you're on the air. What's going on, man?
He has a pretty soul.
Caller, you're on the air.
Hello?
You can speak. Hey, buddy, what's going on, man?
Hey, my name's Matt.
Hey, what's up, Matt? You're not Mavred,
Well,
Matt, are you?
I've been following this JV thing. No, I'm not. I'm Paozu. I'm fun.
Yeah, and?
All right, so in this JV thing, I think what's getting everything so riled up in controversy is that what JV did was he grouped us all together as this one giant group of virgin nerds, apparently.
Which, by the way, he nailed as far as I go. I mean, that's I'll be the first to cop to him being 100% right there. Virgin nerd is me.
Yeah.
So, but
Just ask his daughter.
What? That came out really dark. All
Hey,
right.
real quick, Brian. Look,
Yes.
you're totally getting some of the love from this weird little advertising ploy of JV's. There's this tweet on Twitter that says, Bay Area, read all about this show. BBLiveShow.com tonight at 10:30. They'll be talking shit about JV's world.
See, and it's so funny. Dude, you fan flamer. I hate you. Oh, you are terrible because that's so in every way.
Take that?
You know in every way that's not what I am about. You bet.
Hey, I didn't send the tweet. I'm just reading it off. I'm showing you that you're getting some of this amazing free advertising.
Yeah, because
straight
that's
from the
what I
mouth of JV
want is
himself.
misunderstood hate, or just raining down on me, which I think is so interesting. All right, let's check in with the chat room and see what they say. So here's the deal: is there any chance of me actually getting my point across correctly, or am I just going to be a victim? Hang on, let me bring this up. We got another caller. Hey, dude, you're on the air. What's going on, man?
No. I mean, your point has gotten across correctly.
To the people watching, but again, it doesn't matter what I actually said or what I am perceived to have said. We got a caller on the air right now. What's going on, man? Going once, going twice? All right, I'm going to jump over to the next one. Hey, dude, it's Brian. What's going on, bud?
To the people watching, but again, it doesn't matter.
That's myself talking.
Turn down your radio, caller.
All right, hold on. Call back when you got your radio down. It's Zach Holder, DJ Z, master of the mashups. What is going on, sir? Oh, hold on, that's too loud there. There we go. What's going on, DJ
How you
Z?
doing, Brian?
I'm doing well. How are you doing, man? What's going on, bud?
Been watching the show tonight.
What's that?
I watched the JV, and I had.
No, I'm
I
listening.
tweets about it.
Keep going. Oh, I lost you there for a second. I don't know if you had a bad cell connection or what.
I lost you there for a second. I don't know.
Oh, no, turn down your radio, too.
I'm still here.
Zach, come on, Zach. You know better. What are you doing? What's going
This is a rookie mistake.
Yeah, come on, man.
This messed me a little bit. Yeah, no, I watched the entire JV thing, and my first initial reaction was, I really just don't like this.
Nah, but look,
I
again, we're not
didn't care for it
grading
and
content.
went.
That's not what I'm up for.
Okay, I understand what he's doing here. I see what he's going for.
And
it's not my cup of tea to start with, but it's one thing that I'll probably, after several viewings, after several episodes, I think I'll start to understand what he's going for fully, and
yeah, I agree. Yeah, don't judge
a
until you've seen 5 episodes. That's my thing. Hey, I got to jump to this next call, Zach. Take care, man. There we go. Hey, dude, it's Brian. What's going on? Hello, caller.
Hey, here's another fun tweet in between calls. From RRJJ at JV's World. I just trashed this Brian dude on air on his own show, Raffle. They had to hang up on me. About
No,
to
that's
call
good.
Again.
That's good. He did. He made it. I don't know if you guys know this, but I do have funny hair. So he was correct about that. And I am a virgin. Hey, dude.
He's so
He's a very. He's pretty awesome.
Hold on. I don't ever want to trash callers who call into the show. This is.
I'm not trashing anybody. I'm saying he has a very astute personality, and he has a witticism that will last for ages.
Okay. We got a caller on the air. What's going on? Caller, talk to me. All right. Hey, dude, other caller. What's going on, buddy? Going once? Going twice? Oh, man, dropping off all over the place. All right, maybe we'll take a break from calls. Hey, dude, it's Brian. What's going on, man? Hello.
Brian.
Hey, what's up, buddy? Yes. Hello. Caller who called and said the word
Caller,
Brian
go ahead.
just now. Dope. And we lost him. All right. That's fine. Hey, we do have one more caller here. Caller, are you on? Okay. All right. I'm going to kill all this then. We're going to take a break from calls for a little bit. We'll just let them pass. Roll over there. All right. So, I don't know what to, oh, man. They want to ask about the clown man. We'll have to, is Lauterbach in the forums? Oh, man. If Lauterbach is there, I would love to, man, talk about a guy who's in a position to armchair quarterback with this. I would love. In fact, oh, no, I don't have Lauterbach's cell phone directly.
Yeah, not to mention offer any kind of disciplinary action.
Hang
for
on,
the kind of stuff that you said earlier.
Let me do this. Yeah, Jim Lauterbach's going to be like, Brian, let's talk about your renewal of contract. Hold on. I tell you what, let me do this. I'm going to crank up this music and I'm going to work out a way to see if we can get Jay Lauterbach on the air. Hold on, Sarah.
Took too much to touch her. From what I heard, she got a baby, my buster. My best friend said she used to fuck with Usher. I don't care what none of y'all say, I still love her.
Trying to find Jay Lauterby's thing here. There we go. All right. Oh, I already lost that music. Hold on. There we go. See if we can get this going. No, we'll do this one instead. There we go. This would be interesting. This is awesome. I'm very excited. Hold on. Hold on. If I was smart, I would actually make this a separate event here, right here. Joining us on the phone is CEO of Revision 3, Jim Louderback. What is going on, Jim Louderback?
What's happening, Brian?
So, by the way, kind of interesting. We wanted to do some armchair quarterbacking and just sort of provide play-by-play commentary on the. There's a bit. Did you know there's a bit of a ruckus going on in the forums? Did you know that, Jim?
Yeah, I actually kind of figured that out kind of early on.
So, I don't know. Do you want to weigh in? First of all, I don't know if you heard our positions, because I have a couple of different theories. It could be that that JV is over-responding to people in the forums, or, and this is the theory I like more, is that this is part of a bigger play to generate a lot of publicity for his show so that he can win fans over later on. Do you have a... And unfortunately, if it is a master plan, you can't tip your hand by saying so at this point. You got to do demagoguery and that kind of thing. So
you know what? I have to say, Brian, first of all, we're not smart enough to do that, and we really didn't. I mean, look, we knew that that JV was going to be a little bit different. Didn't really realize the level of hating that would happen, and you know, it sort of has developed a life of its own. So I'd like to say that, oh yeah, it's a grand plan. We want to create controversy, and we want people to be talking about us so that we can be even more relevant. But we're really not that smart.
Well, so what's the right way to handle it? Because it's very tough. It's very tough, you know. And I'm taking the tack of I'm just watching this like a good political debate, and I'm interested. You know, what's everybody's game plan? What are they angling? What's the right move to win the most hearts and minds? Yeah, I don't.
Brian, I want to tell you a story, okay? I want to tell you a story about a show we launched a little more than a year ago. It was this guy with really funny hair.
Stupid hair.
Who was kind of this magician guy who, you know, was doing tricks in bars, trying to get people to scam free drinks. And, you know, we looked at this and said, gosh, we're doing these tech shows, and this guy's not tech. He doesn't look anything like any of our other hosts. In fact, he's a little bit of a freak. But, you know what, the content was certainly interesting and oddball and fun, and it sounded like a good idea. And, you know, we're really trying to recreate or create this future of what video is online versus traditional television. And, you know, why did we give this guy a try? And it's actually turned out really well.
And then it led to the tragedy of this evening.
So I think the point of the story is, I think you can all figure out what I'm saying, is, you know, we don't know what the world of internet television is going to be like in, 2 years, let alone a year. And the stuff that JV's doing is interesting. He's got a fan base. It's a little bit different from the folks that are hardcore Revision 3 fans, but we think there's an overlap. And, we figured we'd give it a try. I mean, why not?
Right.
The controversy is certainly surprising, but, at the level that it's at. But, at some level, it's like, look, if it works, it'll be great. If it doesn't work, we'll stop doing it.
Well, and so... I guess, and unfortunately, I don't know, are you in a position to comment whether or not you think, were you surprised, or did you feel like the response he gave in that half-hour podcast was part of the package of JV, and that's sort of the unpredictability of what you're getting into?
Actually, I have not had a chance to listen to it. I've heard a little bit about it. I think it's the package you get. I mean, the guy's a shock jock.
Right.
What if, okay, let me paint a picture for you. What if you were building a new media company online 20 years ago, and you had the opportunity to put a guy on called Howard Stern,
right,
or Imus?
And I was about to say, we've already been there, because 20 years ago there was no media. It was cable television and digital and satellite. We had all these channels, and we needed to fill them with new content.
So the point I would make, and I'm sorry I got to this late. I saw Brett's tweet, and I was like, oh, I got to check out what Brian's doing. What kind of mess is he making this stuff?
Let me see how Brushwood's ruining everything.
Yeah, he's ruining everything. That air pressure. Just say he's out on the road again. But the one guy who said something, I don't know if it was you or somebody else, was like, give it 5 episodes.
That was me.
Did
that was me.
After 5 episodes?
Let me be very, very clear that was me who said that, since I'm talking to the boss.
Good, okay. So Brian Brushwood, the master.
That's right.
If it's not good after 5 episodes, and it's not driving an audience, then then I'll tell you what, it's not something we'll keep doing. But right now, it's a great way for us to reach an audience we haven't reached, one that I think would really enjoy all the other programs and help to make them even more powerful and palatable and wonderful than they are. I mean, I guarantee you that there are people watching JV's World right now who have never heard of Revision 3,
right?
Who have never heard of Brian Brushwood,
right?
Who have never heard of Dig Nation.
That's everybody who hasn't
checking
heard
these
of
shows
me.
out and going, holy crap, this is good stuff.
Well, and I would certainly hope that's what we would get. The
Can you speak to the numbers, Jim? Did that drive anything when he came on the first day?
I don't know. You know what? I haven't looked at the numbers. And by the way, when you launch something, you really can't focus on first day numbers. You got to look at, is it building an audience? Is the episodic stuff working?
There are
so
people
many watching?
different.
Are more people coming in? It's not a 24, 48 hour thing. It's more of a 24, 48 day thing.
Right, and you got to remember, Brett, also there is a ridiculous number of outlets that Revision 3 content goes to, from the direct downloads to all of the partner websites to YouTube and all of that stuff. So, I mean, it takes a long time to really know how stuff is being received as far as the numbers go.
Well, and that's actually a really good point, Brian. Let's talk about that for a sec, because we found that there's a website for Scam School that's called Learn Magic Tricks Now or something, and every time I put something up there, we get a bunch of hits.
Oh wow!
People love it. We took JV, a site that we have a deal with, but have had really very little traction with, called E-Bombs World. And we've done a little bit with it. We put that up. It was on the front page on Monday.
Yeah.
So that the right site for the right audience, the right content, trying to figure out that mix. That's kind of what we're all about.
Right. Well, real quick, I know Justin had a question for you, but just to clarify for anyone coming in halfway, my position from the very beginning of this was that you really should not judge short form content until you've watched 5 episodes, because it's too heterogeneous. There's too many wildly different episodes, and some are going to be a match with you, and some are not. But to me, and none of that was what I wanted to talk about as far as the quality of the episode. But what I did want to talk about was the tactical decision of doing an inflammatory. I mean, obviously, as far as an attention-getting exercise, it's incredibly effective. I mean, everybody is talking about it. In fact, that's why we decided to host a little online forum and get everybody talking about it. But it'll be really interesting to see what you do with the attention. If you leverage it into winning people over on a macro scale, as I was saying. This is my conspiracy theory here, because remember, I want you guys to be smarter than you may or may not actually be.
We're not as smart as you are, Brian.
Right, no. I'm not smart.
How smart is JV?
JV's smarter than all of us. Because my tactic with Scam School was to run around putting a whole bunch of little fires out and say, hey, I understand that's what you're feeling like. Stick around for this episode, or hey, I hear that. Let's make some changes for this going forward. Could it be that JV's tactic is to pour gasoline on the whole thing and then call in the Air National Guard to put out the whole fire all at once? I don't know. But
I didn't know the Air National Guard put out fires. Data points you guys can chew on. First of all, when we launched the show midnight on Sunday night at East Coast time, and we started to get the initial sort of feedback in the forum, JV was very surprised, and I think he was a little upset about it. I mean, he actually asked. He asked that we turn comments off in the forum because he just didn't want to have that kind of hating going on. And I said no, because you know what? You never turn the forums off. The second thing is the episode itself. Just so you know, that is the pilot. So that was the pilot. We loved it. We said, let's do it. And it was interesting. And, subsequent episodes are only going to get better like everything else does. And, the third thing is, again, this is an audience that, we're reaching people that we have not reached before. They're in this target. They're going to love the shows that we have. And our job as a media company is to drive more and more people watching it, so we get more and more people to appreciate the shows, love them, hang out with the advertisers, love them. And when it comes to media, you want people to be talking about you. Now, you don't want them talking about you because you've been caught snorting cocaine in the bathroom, but you certainly want them to talk about you.
Right. Well, if you happen to talk to JV, and here's one of the tragedies of the breakdown of the telephone game, is that as many times, and this jerk, Justin Robert Young, will be the first to recognize, as many times as made it clear that I'm not talking about the quality of the content, and I encourage people to continue watching. What I am very interested in is the tactical decision of inflaming what most people would regard, because everybody who's in new media feels or perceives like the forums are the 800-pound gorilla, and it's very important to come in and win them over. And JV didn't feel that way, and whether that's the right decision or the wrong decision, it certainly is an interesting decision, which is the only reason that we're having this tonight, because somehow, and you know the way Twitter works, somehow he got the impression, like he already Twittered out, he's like, who are you to review my show? And I'm like, dude, I'm so not reviewing my show.
Well, yeah, let me give you an analogy. I mean, let's say you move and you're a new student at a school, and you show up to class the first day, and you're wearing something a little bit different, and you're talking a little bit different, and you're behaving a little bit different, and the entire class turns around and starts immediately hating on you. What do you do? Well, there's a couple different things you can do. One, you can you crawl into your shell.
That's me, by the way. That's me. I crawl in the shell.
Well, the second thing you can do is start lashing out. The third thing you do is just ignore them. So what I tell people mostly is, you know what? Ignore it. It's gonna, it'll die down. JV's a different kind of guy.
Well, and
that's part of what makes him so good at what he does is he engages.
Well, and I guess that's what
Jim. Obviously, you guys have to do as much as you can or at least your talent does, to get the work show, especially in the early going. Is there anything for you that is too far? Like, how far is that leash for you as the guy who's running the whole stable?
I think you gotta figure out whether there's certainly things that are too far. I mean, we're not going to be putting pornography up. We're not going to have people smoking. I mean, there's certain things that we're not going to do, but you got to push the envelope. This is a new medium. We are still, and what I would say to everybody is, look, we're exploring the bounds of this new medium. We're figuring out what works and what doesn't, both for the Revision 3 audience, for the brand, but for the medium overall. And if you look at things that work in other areas of internet video, go watch YouTube for a minute. Take a look at some of the things that are getting millions of views on YouTube and think, is this the future of the medium? Is it a guy with spiky hair jamming free drinks from people in the bar? Is it two guys on a couch drinking beer? Or is it something that we don't even know? And I would say, you know what? It's probably something we don't even know. You're never going to figure out what that something we don't even know is if you don't try a lot of different stuff. I think the stuff JV is doing is cool. He's a good voice. He's polarizing. And he's very talented. It's the guy who's built great audiences in other mediums. We owe it to, I think, everybody to figure out whether something like that translates into this medium. Our thoughts are, there's something there. We're going to give it a shot. Just like we've given lots of other things a shot. Some have worked, some haven't. We're going to keep doing it.
Yeah, well said, and I think that's very in line with everything I've seen from Revision 3, where they really are interested in filling all different types of niches, and that's what's great is that everybody, if you look at the forums as a whole, there's people who hate other parts of all the shows on Revision 3. There are people who love one show and hate another, and it's all passionate, and there's no reason that you can't have a heterogeneous place where all that stuff happens.
If you don't like it, don't watch it, dude. There's no reason to hate on people for, and again, I'm not a big fan of the hating, and I think everybody should love everybody else, so that's kind of, where I come from. But not everybody feels that way. So.
Interesting. Well, hey, man, I don't want to keep you too long, but just tell me this much. Are you excited or exasperated by the attention, the brouhaha surrounded by all of this? I mean, even and by the way, I did not intend any of this to catch the attention of anyone. I just figured it'd be a couple people drinking some beers and talking some armchair strategy when it comes to winning hearts and minds.
That Jim Louderback pays attention to my Twitter feed. Just
oh,
saying.
Is that why? That's why we ended up here? Is because he saw Amtrekker's Twitter feed.
Oh yeah, I put my son to bed, and I was like finishing up dinner, and I was like, oh, what's happening on Twitter? And I saw Brett's Twitter. I'm like, oh, I better check this one out.
So
let me just say one thing that I like when people talk about us. I think it's great. I don't like when people hate on each other, but sometimes that happens. What I will say for people who are, you know, tech TV, or tech, God, I can't believe I said that, who are Revision 3 fans.
Freudian slip. Nice.
Yeah, there's my Freudian slip of the night, thanks. For people who are Revision 3 fans, is, look, we have 3 shows launching in May. JV's is certainly the biggest departure from what we've been doing. The last show that we're going to do, Film Riot, is probably, you know, the closest to what people would consider a Revision 3 show. But all 3 of them, I think, are really cool in 3 different ways. So if you're going to hate on Revision 3 and if you're going to hate on kind of what we're doing, I would say wait till the end of May.
So
take a look at the
I was
3
gonna
shows in totality.
I was going to say, it looks like the Wired article already broke the story on the next 2 shows. Can you talk about the second of the 3 shows as well?
Sure, yeah, it's a comedy show. And so if you don't know Rooftop Comedy, check it out. These guys...
Oh, dude, I love Rooftop Comedy. A friend of mine's got a couple of videos on there.
Right, so they've got cameras in 32 stand-up clubs around the world, and they have deals with just about every stand-up comedian. They tape every stand-up routine. They have a group of really good editors who watch every one the next morning. They post the best bits at rooftopcomedy.com, and we've been working with them for ages to try to figure out something to do. We're going to do a, 10, 15-minute show once a week of the best bits that fit our audience.
That's there is some really good, very underground content on Rooftop Comedy, and if you're a fan of stand-up comedy, I did not know Rooftop Comedy was involved with. This is Raffle we're talking about.
Yeah, this is Raffle, exactly.
Yeah.
So it launches on Monday. So, for
is that a
everybody
scoop?
who's
Wait, did we just get a scoop? Did my terrible, ridiculous BB Live show just get a scoop? We're launching Monday?
I'm not sure. I think we told people, but
damn it.
Yeah,
Can we pretend for 1 second
You
like
suck,
something
Brian.
happened here? All right. Well, look,
So
here's...
anyway, for everybody who's hating on us, like, oh my God, Revision 3, you're going down the toilet, you suck, blah, 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 I'd say, first of all, I hear you. I don't want to turn anybody off. I'm sorry if anybody's offended. But just watch the next 2 shows that we're launching in the course of May. And, you know, then decide whether you think we've taken a wrong turn, a right turn, or maybe we're just trying different things to try and grow this business, to survive as a company and to thrive and to build the next media company. So just think about that before you put your finger to keyboard and start hating.
Well, and that's the thing. By the way, it was an unprecedented move when I think it was Token User actually shut down the forum board last night because things were getting so heated. Personal experience, and I think we've all been there. I'm looking at you, chat room, where you where you get so passionate about something, you type something, and it's too late to take it back, and it's out there forever. Very difficult
Like
decision,
hike.
but I think it was a smart decision given how fever pitch everything was getting. Why are you laughing at me, Justin?
Oh, because he just brought up Amtrak Kike, which got
oh
typed
yeah,
earlier.
because I did. I wrote
you can't go
Amtrak
back,
Kike.
yeah.
Yes, I was able to take that back. However, unfortunately, it's on the record permanently right now. Anything else you want to leave us with, Jim?
No, but I mean, I wish we were smart enough to have concocted this and built it up to try and drive.
Is it okay if
use attention?
Is it okay?
We're really not.
Jim,
yeah,
we just want to create great shows that appeal to a broad audience, and that's kind of what we're trying to do. So
can I
keep that in mind.
Unofficially? I mean, nobody's watching. Can I unofficially get permission to continue my theory because it was a really good theory? I was really excited that I had pegged the mastermind.
By your theory, nobody can say that it is happening.
Okay.
It's like a Fight Club thing. They can't admit it.
Yeah, the moment. Yeah, you're right.
Keep on going with your theory as much as you want. And you know what? There was a second shooter, and the grassy knoll was actually, and there are aliens in Area 51. And believe me, we're not smart enough.
I refuse to believe that. I think you guys, this is all part of a master strategy. It's going to be a giant judo flip. It's going to be like episode 4, and like every week he's going to release more and more incendiary stuff. And on the 5th day, we're going to see live video of him rescuing a panda. It's going to be the greatest judo flip in the history of PR, and I will be proven right.
You hold on to that, Brian.
All right. Big thanks to Jim Louderback. Thank you so much for calling in. I'm so glad to get somebody who actually is on the inside, especially since apparently we attracted the attention. Do me a favor. Tell JV to give me a call because he's getting bad intel about what my purpose was here. And unless this really is, wink, wink, part of his strategy, in which case, don't tell him my purpose and let him keep stoking the flames for his master plan to work out.
Let me just say, Brian, that if it was part of the strategy, we would have clued you in because you'd be doing a much better job of it.
Thank you, because clearly I'm not. Clearly, because I got
man, personal perception is personal reality. Own this.
All right. Okay, Jim, good talking to you, man. Thank you so much for calling in.
Talk to you later. Bye.
All right, take care. That used to be my CEO before tonight's show. So
before you got fired.
Brian, I want you to PayPal me $5 for staying quiet that entire time.
You know what? $5 does not even begin.
I asked one relevant question, and that was it.
What? You had one burning question, and what was it?
No, I had a relevant question. You know, I put on my journalist cap, and I said, like, oh, okay. Well, Mr. Louderback, when launching a new show, what is the kind of leeway that you give to new artists?
It was hilarious because you clearly were putting on a character when it was go time. You're just like, you're spending the whole show being Mr. Fan Flamer, and then all of a sudden you're like, well, Mr. Louderback, in your opinion, is this a tactical mistake? All right, we do it.
Used as Justin R. Young voice.
We do have not as jury duty.
Yeah.
By the way, we got a caller on the line. Hey, caller, you're on the air. What's going on, man?
Hey, Brian, on the show. Jury duty and Brett were talking about this isn't the best way to do it via Revision 3 forums. Can they think of a better way that this would attract more viewers if this is actually a stunt?
I don't think I said that this was a bad way. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, I was gonna say when you were saying attract more viewers, let's step it back in a little bit more and just say in general a way to attract attention, and then that way we make it more general. But you had a comment on that, Brett?
Yeah, as it is, I don't think I've made a judgment at all on it yet. I mean, I said from the beginning, all I've asked is questions. Is this radio model going to work in a new media world? I'm ready to watch and see.
According to my crazy,
I agree with Amtrekker, but I would only say that in general, the way the radio wars work is a smaller show goes after hoping that the larger show acknowledges them, and then they, just by the sheer osmosis of dealing, between the shows, gets some sort of different level of attention. Or that, let's say if Opie and Anthony pick on Howard Stern, Howard Stern, then acknowledges that they exist. So
in
I
that
think
case,
theoretically, JV would have to pick on somebody much larger than the Revision 3 forums because they're paying attention to him already because they're already commenting on him.
Yeah, but I don't know. It'll be interesting. We have another call on the air. Who's this, man?
Hey, man, it's Juan Rico, and I just want to the feature Justin was asking. Priceless.
We're losing like every other word, and I don't know if it's your end of the connection or mine. Could I get you to kind of talk a little more directly into the mic?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, there we go. That sounds good.
Okay. Yeah, I just wanted to say it's pretty hilarious the face you were making while Justin was asking the question. You could sort of see your face kind of.
When I was I was a little bit on the precipice of oh please. Yeah, as soon as Justin opened his mouth and he was like intense, like he clearly had something he wanted to say, and I was just like, oh Justin, please don't fuck this up.
I kind of expected the question to be, Mr. Louderback, what were your thoughts when Brian Rush repeated on that picture of JV?
Yeah, like and I don't know if you're able to hear Brett just did, but Brett just said that I fully expected the question to be, Mr. Louderback, what was your opinion when Brian physically urinated on that photo of JV? So I'm glad it didn't turn out that way. Hey, and can I give one shout out to the chat room as well? We sort of when about 40 minutes ago, we sort of had a microcosm of the chat room lockdown, where everybody was calling in repeatedly, and I guess, people were twittering, hey, I stuck it to Schwood, which is like, wow, that's like, you beat up the wimpiest guy in class. But I mean, what I'm saying is it's not hard to stick it to me. But everything cooled down for Jim Louderback. We didn't get a single call beeping in because I don't have any fancy software to regulate the call volume or anything like that. So I thought that was very cool of you guys. Thank you very much, everyone in the chat room who's watching. It's obvious that you guys were interested in a intellectual discourse of well, I don't know if I go that far, but you were interested in actually hearing what people had to say, and that's one thing.
Quite.
No, quite right. Mr. Westwood, is it not true?
I think people have been interested in that for the whole time. The early remarks on the chat boards didn't say much beyond they didn't really like the topic. It wasn't until Godwin's Law took over or whatever, and people started calling people Nazis that things escalated.
Yeah, you know, and that's a good point. And I think if you go back and actually read all the chat, there's a weird arms race, sort of an escalation going on, and I, you know, who knows? We'll see where this goes. By the way, thank you very much, caller. Very good one. I'm going to jump over to the next one here. Hey, dude, it's Brian. You're on the air live on a show nobody watches. What's going on?
Hey, Brad, historian. Yeah, it's my 2 cents. It's like I feel like he's being pretty genuine, and it doesn't seem like it's a wise move on his part. It doesn't seem like a wise strategy from everything I'm gathering. It seems really not a smart move. Like he's really attacking his core audience, really.
Right. Now, do you feel like this was a intentional play that was a bad idea, or you think he just was running his mouth? You know, because who knows? I don't do radio. You know, everything I do, I get 5 minutes a week, and we put a lot of thought, and we make sure this 5 minutes is exactly the way we want it to go. You know, he has to fill 20 hours in a week. Maybe he's used to just turn on the mic and whatever happens, happens. Do you think he even paused to think how this would be received, or whether there'd be ripples, that kind of thing?
I think it's more of a gut reaction sort of thing. And he might have not realized what he did, and I think it's really causing more of a negative response than he would have liked. I mean, it's like a very shock jock sort of move, but, you know, I don't think this is a really appealing thing for the core audience, really, this sort of shock thing.
Well, and I'll tell you this much: I'm gonna come hard down on the side of Justin Robert Young when I say I don't have a problem with being called a nerd, or saying that I jerk it to fantasies of some fantastic female from a fantasy series. I just want that fantastic female to be Starbuck instead of Princess Leia. At least update your, you know...
yeah, let's just bring it within 20 years, people. Come on. There have been so many jerkable girls in sci-fi. They are just pumped out on an assembly line, one after another. Like Jerry Ryan would be more,
Jerry Ryan,
you know, in the ballpark.
At least
let's seriously bring it into the decade. Christ.
Even the... All right. Hey, appreciate it, caller. Thanks so much, man.
Hey, again, wait, let me go back to Twitter, because Pepin37 stepped up to the plate here. He said, at JV's World, you calling into that show, man? Brian seems like a cool dude. There are 200 in that room.
Oh, that would be really fascinating. That would be very
So
cool.
thank you, Pepin37, for stepping up to the plate and saying it like it is.
Yeah, no, and it's a gamble to do something like this, because
Scully, another one, Mr. Scully was jerkable.
Scully,
sorry, go ahead.
She's a little bit. All right. Hang on. Joining us on the line is Radzak. What's going on, Radzak?
Princess Amidala.
Hey, doing, buddy? You were actually on a pretty good point right there. Talk for like 3 seconds, and then I'll talk for a little bit more. I'll hop in.
Oh, okay. Yeah, what I was gonna say is, it's a little bit of a risk to say, hey, here's a incredible hotbed. Here's a hornet's nest going on. Let me coat myself in this delicious honey, and then jump in, with this brilliant idea that we'll do some armchair quarterbacking, that will have some rational discourse. And I got to tell you, about 40 minutes ago, I was thinking, this was a tactical error of my own that I made. But I'm very impressed to see, like you pointed out, Brett, that there are people stepping up to the plate that recognize, and that's part of why I did not want this, despite the hilariousness of me playing the Flame War song at the very beginning. I did not want this to devolve into unfair criticisms. I wanted it to be. I'm trying really hard to say nothing that I wouldn't say to anyone's face, and that's something that I believe passionately is that a lot of people, they get so angry they treat other people as objects, and they cease to realize that to another person these are real words that have a totally different impact, or maybe the exact impact of what you mean. And I'm really impressed that nothing spun completely out of control here. That's a very, what I'm trying to say is that's a difficult situation to be in, and I feel like we got through that pretty well.
Brian, I mean, I'll just say with, I can speak for myself and maybe the Amtrekker that the reason why we can make jokes that like you're peeing on a picture of JV is because
you're
you
an
are a
asshole.
Very nice guy. Well, I am an asshole, yes, and so is probably the Amtrekker guy.
The Amtrekker guy.
I will say, like,
Thank you.
You are such a nice guy.
That is.
Well, you know
there's
that,
a reason why we can
but
make
none
those
of the
jokes.
none of the people calling in, all they know is
No,
like,
they
what?
do. Everybody in this room, if they're watching the BB Live show, they know you. If they don't know you, that's the beauty of this live stream. And I seriously do believe that there's a reason why you can have this dialogue and maybe other people like me can't, because you are a good, fair moderator. And ultimately, it came out okay. We had a good time. I embarrassed you. I didn't get you fired. Everybody laughs at the end.
That was hilarious. Hey, Zach, we got another call. Is there something you wanted to pipe in with before I jump over here?
I basically just wanted to say that I don't want to, like, I don't think I'm that me or mainly a lot of people, we aren't really in the position to comment on the things. I mean, he can say what he wants on his radio show and he can insult and do his thing, but like as far as what I can actually say is that I've watched the show and I've checked it out, and I think that it's a totally different approach to the usual programming that we're doing over at Revision 3, and I don't necessarily think that incorporating something like this is a bad thing. Like, I think that if the normal fan base that we have at Revision 3 doesn't take the show exactly perfect, that's not necessarily a bad thing because it may bring in new audience. I mean, obviously that Jim and everybody else is thinking about at Revision 3 is bringing in a totally different audience. Now, with what JV does on his radio show, he has a fan base that he can help spread the word, spread the gospel of web video, blah, blah, blah.
Here's oh, wait a minute. I just found out the secret word. The secret drinking word.
What's the word?
I glanced over. Haters. Haters. Everybody drink. Everybody drink. The word is haters. I'm sorry that I haven't.
Haters.
Oh.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think that the negative press is, any press is good press. He's doing exactly what he needed to do.
So here's the question.
More viewers to Revision 3.
Like, journalistically, this is probably a great question. As a friend, it's probably the douchiest thing I've said all night. But, Rad Zach, there's been a lot of chatter in the forums about how all the beta shows have been passed over. What are your thoughts on that?
Oh, wait, thank you. Thank you for bringing that up, Alo. I hate you, Amtrekker Kike.
You guys put me on the spot, Can I gracefully bow out?
Yeah, no, I think that's a smart idea. Hey, so let me say this. This is what I think is an interesting question, and I think there are a lot of people who have a passionate love for Revision 3. And they also feel deeply offended by being called names in the JV rant. If you knew for a fact that the controversy generated by this morning radio shock jock tactic, if you knew for a fact that it would double the audience of Revision 3 and secure, by the way, I'm trying to get rid of that sound, I'm sorry guys, and secure the financial longevity of Revision 3, would that change your perception of being thrown under the bus for the good of Revision 3? And actually, let me actually go straight to the chat room for that. Does that make a difference to you guys? I mean, is it if you knew? Hold on, let's see. They say don't care. Yes. You missed the whole point, Brian, which is obvious. That's how I roll. Is that the point back there?
I think they were trying to get me to comment basically how I feel with my show on Revision 3 Beta not getting put on the main lineup over something like this. Now,
All right, now again, hold on, Zach. This is dangerously close to judging the content before we hit 5 episodes, which I've warned you I don't want to do, especially.
Oh, most definitely.
Right. I don't know. It'll be interesting. By the way, somebody called your show "Bottles, Blends, and Ballers." You need more blending.
But no, I'm excited to see how it plays out. And,
yeah, I think so. All right. Well, hey, I'm going to jump out so we got room on the because we're about to wrap things up here. All right. Take care, man.
Later, Zach.
You know what? Let me do this. I'm actually going to wrap up the official show here pretty quick. We'll stay live as you watchers of the BB Live shows know that we do. We have somebody at least pretending to be Jay Adelson. Is that the actual Jay Adelson out there? We'll see if we can get him on. By the way, for those of you who don't know, things get really interesting once we turn off the recording, but we're coming up on 2 hours, and once we hit 2 hours, everything goes to total crap with the Ustream. So I'm going to wrap things up with a mashup from DJ Z. Make sure to stick around, guys. The show's not entirely over, just the part where we keep recording. And why don't we do this one right here?
Yeah.
Here we go.
Everybody remember to go to weirdthings.com.
Oh, yeah. Weirdthings.com. You can follow me at Schwood, twitter.com/Schwood, amtrekker.com. And we're going to wrap things up. Stick around. We're just taking a short break. Here we go.
Wearing the face that she keeps in a jar by the door. Father Mackenzie, writing the words of a sermon.